Oh yeah. Hey man, I got extremely fired up about today and tonight, really, because first of all, we're gonna talk to football, real football. We get to break down some film, spend some time with friends. That's including you and the chat, and those that are just coming to watch us a little bit later. So doesn't matter if you're sitting here right now or if you are checking us out later. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit the like buttons, leave some comments, and we'll try to interact with you as much as possible. Today we got a great show, got a great guest. If you guys saw me promoting this on the social media channels, man, we got a college coach on here, man. You know we love that when they come in and they start teaching us exactly what it is. So today, that's exactly what it's going to be. We're going to talk offensive line play, schemes, that kind of stuff, and our guest is going to load it up for you. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get Teague's Take started right now. All right, here's your official welcome into Teague's Take. It is Wednesday night, and we are live and excited about this one tonight. We got so much that we need to talk about. I don't want to spend too much time with stuff. Last week, I told you guys a little bit about me coming back into coaching, being the head coach at JP2. Really excited about this opportunity to continue to expand on the legacy that we've been trying to build at JP2. It's always fun to be able to do that. It's also good to be able to have JT, who's going to be working with. We're going to be working hand in hand on the defense. So a lot of guys were y'all were telling me who to hire. Y'all were telling me to hire JT, hire JT. Well, I decided he had to pay me to be on my staff, so that's the only way I can get some money back from him. Because he makes too much. But here's my deal. Here's what I need for you guys to know and understand it, right? Because this is actually happening here. What happens when a coach um, takes over a new program, right? Because people always starting to wonder, especially players, who's they going to retain, who are they going to keep. Unfortunately, typically when the head coach is removed, the whole staff is basically on high alert, and they're told, "Hey, you don't have a job until we offer you another one," right? And that's at every single level. Um, so then the coach has a whole lot of tough decisions to make. The new head coach on what that's going to be like. It's never personal. It's always trying to figure out how to make the program a little bit better. Who are the people that he trusts? Who can coach the schemes that he has, or help elevate his piece? So it's never personal like that because our world is too small. The coaching circle is too small. There are people that I'm going to want to call that I might need a job for, and maybe someone who worked for me that could give me an opportunity. So you don't want to burn bridges like that. I think coaches understand that more than people outside of it, particularly at high school or maybe in college sometime. Families get a little bit hurt. So it's been tough. And I'm going through those things right now. People ask, well, what does that mean? What are you going to do? How you look? The Teague's going to be the Teagues. We're going to talk football. This will not affect our podcast at all. We just have to make some little adjustments just on practices or games or whatever's happening, but we're going to be good. All right. So let me bring in the first person that you guys need to see. His name is James Teague. He's a co-defensive coordinator at John Paul II High School. You've always known him as a defensive coordinator anyway. You've known him as a co-host. You've known him as the analytical one, and ain't none of that changed because he's doing what he needs to do to make this show and the world a better place. So, JT, how weird was it being interviewed by your dad for this coordinator
Um,
position?
Very weird because I've never been interviewed before. I was kind of the first time I was asked to be a defensive coordinator. My response was sure, but you need to make sure that I am the last possible person to do it. And apparently, I was the last one around to do it. So I wasn't really formally interviewed then. Um, so it was weird for a few reasons. You being the interviewer, and it also being my first time actually having a formal coaching interview.
Well, okay. Well, I guess we could say you graded that well. You were offered the position and the job, and I'm excited about it. I look forward to seeing it. And the team is actually excited to see that you're going to be back. And you know what? That they don't have to really change much. As I told them, hey, we've been running the same stuff forever. We've just kind of modernized it a little bit. And,
Yeah, there's a couple
yeah.
new words. The terminology's changed, but really, I think at the core of what you and Coach Ferris were doing, not totally that different. Maybe the numbers skew a little bit more from cover three to a different coverage as far as snap to snap. What we're doing, um, but I really don't think it's terribly different. We just positions have a couple of different names because it was, I won't say confusing, but it was easier for me to teach it, not using somebody else's terminology. And as we say, coaches are always teachers first. So in order to teach well, you also have to understand it well and make sure you're not tripping over your own words.
Yep, I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to it because it is the same. I just have to, we'll make the adjustments as we go. Monica, thank you for being in the house, and I know you always trying to learn something and try to talk to people out there in North Carolina about football and spit your knowledge on what's happening. And so let's go ahead and start to get to the knowledge for this next gentleman that I want to bring in, man. So let me tell you a little bit about him first. He is, I don't know how close he is away from you, Monica, but he's a North Carolina native kind of deal. He played college football at Virginia Union University. He's an O line coach there, and I didn't know JT that he was actually part of a squad in 2008 where they broke a CIAA record of 495 yards rushing in a single game. I kind of want to hear about that and see if they just how that actually happened and how tired he was afterwards of doing run blocking all game. But he's also coached at Virginia State. He was there for 4 years. He was associate head coach and worked with the offensive tackles and also as tight ends coach. It's great because when you start adding tight ends into the run game, I know it changes a lot. It'd be nice to hear about some of that kind of stuff. He's also coached at Norfolk State. It's O line tight ends coach, recruiting coordinator JT as well. I know we were kind of asking about that. How's all that kind of stuff working? All that. I don't know. Maybe he can give us a little bit of nuggets.
Well, I think he just got a little bit of news. I don't know. I don't know that it's gone into effect yet, but he can probably speak to this transfer portal news that was voted on.
They actually vote. I heard the coaches did something to the AFCA deal where they're trying to change the transfer portal date. But anyway, we'll see if he talks about that. Okay, and then so I want you to know about the Bill Walsh Minority Fellowship um, coaching program. So he's done that with the Jags and the Vikings. That's actually where we met when we both were at the Minnesota Vikings. So I was working on the defensive side of the ball. He's working on the offensive side of the ball. We gelled. Um, and we're able to, just really talking about our coaching careers and what's going on. And I was able to learn a lot from him. Although I was studying about the defensive stuff, it's always cool to sit and see what they were thinking from the other side of the ball. So that's pretty cool. Now he is currently the offensive coordinator, co-OC, sorry, and the O-line coach at Alcorn State. You can find this guy on X. Go ahead and follow him right now, Coach underscore T Watson. Let's go ahead and bring in Trumaine Watson. Yeah, yeah. He hear that, JT, because he's a Q dog too. He might want to get stepping in here a little bit. Oh my, because I have to keep him calm, slow down a little
What's going
bit.
on, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Yeah, we doing
Good.
great.
Glad to have you here.
Yeah,
Oh
thank you
man, I
very much.
appreciate you guys for bringing me on, man. Follow the show all the time. I kind of get a chance to check it out, man. I'm excited to come on here, get to talk some ball, man. Kind of talk some career stuff. I think it's always good, man. To just sit back, be able to talk ball, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And thank you for being a patron. You know what I'm saying? A teakster coming and checking us out and see what we saying. Because I guess we've been doing all right because he hadn't called me and been like, boy, you don't know what the hell you talking about. I don't know why y'all doing all that. Like, you need to change that. So, but it's cool. We're glad that you're here. So, um, can you tell me before we get into this film? Tell me about this 495 rushing yards and
Yeah,
what
man.
does that
That
feel
that
like?
was so what ended up happening was there was this is I think 2008. We actually were supposed it was actually our homecoming week against Virginia State, one of the biggest rivalries in the state of Virginia, Virginia Union, Virginia State. And it was a storm coming. They moved it to a Thursday night game. We had never played a Thursday night game at all in college, and of course the rivalry game, it just started pouring. We had the top two backs in the conference, and I mean, we let them have it. But what ended up happening was, so our first two backs kind of went for like I think maybe 160 apiece. They just both had about two touchdowns. And what actually ended up happening was the backup guys kind of went in and just went for like another 300 yards just running the ball. Like everybody that touched it was just going to the house. It was insane, physically insane, man. And it's one to hold on to, man. I think the record actually still holds in the CIAA conference right now. I think someone was like at like 491 or something. I'm like, come on, guys, get 5 yards break. Yeah, man, it was insane. I mean, an amazing night. We talk about it all the time when we get a chance to get together. I'm still to this day, as a had an opportunity to been a run game coordinator for multiple times and been in multiple different spots. I'm trying to challenge it, but I can't get there, boss. That's a lot of token.
I think you try to take someone's job because if someone gets rushed over about 500 yards, I think that is probably their last shot at it.
Yeah, ain't no
uh,
doubt. Ain't no doubt about it.
Okay, so um, why don't you tell us a little bit about what your plan is today and how you want to go through this process so we can it's a little bit different than what we normally do because we're not preempting or pre-showing a game or something like that.
Mhm.
So why don't you give us kind of an overview, what you want to try to accomplish
Yeah,
tonight?
man. I just think the biggest thing, is to kind of understand O line play a little bit more. I kind of and I, kind of got some things on there just about really. The mindset is different. A lot of if you don't, if you've never really played in the trenches, you kind of really don't understand that mindset of what the train of thought is. Even from a coach's view, we gotta dig a little deeper to get a little bit more. So just kind of really get an opportunity to kind of talk about some of the things that we do and how we do it. Even from a teaching standpoint, it takes a special person to get five guys to do the same thing at the same
Mm-hmm.
time and have
All the
success.
time. The
Ain't no
same
doubt,
time,
ain't
all
no
the
doubt.
time.
So it's a special trade that you really got to have, and a lot of us fail at it now. You got to fail to get good at it. But of course, you starting the pieces are starting to change. I tell everybody, recruiting is getting harder with all the things that are going on in the world,
Mm-hmm.
but the players are bigger. I mean, there's those days of a nasty 6'1", 6'2" guy. They're out there, but it's hard when you just got massive 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" kids. Like I've never seen so many 6'6", 6'7" kids in my life just come across my desk, and I'm like, like what is it? The food? Like what
You
is it?
know,
Normally
to,
this is amazing. Normally got some small freaks, but it's like everybody's huge now.
to add on to that point, I went to the Frisco Bowl this year, and it was West Virginia and Memphis, right? And
Mhm.
Memphis runs out of the tunnel, and we're sitting. I'm probably like 6 rows up from the sideline, right? And
Mhm.
I turned to the person next to me, and I was like, man, Memphis just don't look that big. West Virginia looks big, but Memphis really don't look that big. And so I picked who I thought was a regular looking dude on the
Right.
sideline, looked him up, and he was like, I think he was 6'5", pushing 300 pounds. I was like, oh no, it's just the whole sideline is enormous. So that
Yeah.
one dude right there, he looks regular because they all look like him.
Yeah.
There's nobody on the sideline that looks like me.
Yeah. And it's weird you say that because now like even like when you talk about just the league, it was coming up. It was, did he pass the eye test? Is it the eye test? Everybody's the eye test now, so you don't know. You got to physically dig deep to see what's going on, because you could easily take 5 or 6 guys just walking in the door from an eye test standpoint. So like, it's not, the eye test is not really an eye test anymore. It's more of a eye and physical trade type of deal. So I don't know. It's insane. But just, just kind of just tying all that in, man, is, just with some of the success. And I, just wanted to kind of just get a chance to talk about it, and, just kind of see some of the stuff, not necessarily just, what I do, but, how, when you get it, when you get that thing to roll, man. We were blessed to finish 17th in the country this year. We finished 15th the year before. So, I mean, it's been good these last couple of years to be, top 20 in the country. When you got the North Dakota States of the world of the FCS, the Montana States, them guys are rushing for, 300-400 yards a game. It's insane. And they're running the triple. So, we're in that spread world. But just, get a chance to see some of the different variations of it. And, not going to bore you guys. And no, I don't have any very fast, wide receivers or anything like that. I got the big hogs up front. We get it done, but really excited about, a lot of things that we do, man. And I love to get a chance to talk ball, and everybody should get it, spend some time to kind of see what them guys do. We don't get, they don't get the accolades. They don't get in the paper.
Nope.
Quarterbacks doing a good job nowadays. And you see it. Everybody can kind of on Twitter. I love to see, man, NFL guys, because they have the money. When they go buy the NFL, man, they go buy them guys cars, Rolexes. Like, that's good. They know those guys are, in a dangerous game nowadays. Those guys are gonna save their life. And I love it. I love it, man.
Well, anybody that is a consistent supporter of Teague's Take knows that we actually love what goes on up front, and we're always trying to break it down as much as we can, particularly with pass blocking. And when you're trying to watch Alabama and our tackles that we've had, so we try to enlighten that, because they're always, like you said, sometimes they're blaming the quarterback. Oh, you got to do this. Like, yeah, but then there's the other piece of something happened that a positive on the other side, where they're doing really good and they don't get the credit because they just see the running back break one for 40 yards, or a quarterback break out of there for some yards, when it's all because of what happened up front. So
no doubt. In their defense, the defensive end of today in 2025 is hands down the best player on every football team in the country. So you used to just really get a really good end. Every single week on every single team, the defensive end on everybody's team is going to be the best player on the team right now. And the tackles are spending all day trying to figure out how to figure it out. And we just hadn't figured it out yet. Those guys are becoming more and more freaks. Those Myles Garrett, Chase Young, like those guys they are freak athletes. And we hadn't figured it out yet, bud.
Dude, y'all are going backwards. Like defensive backs. We got to start going backwards. And these guys running full speed, and they got some things they trying to do. Place trying to get.
About it.
So you got to have good hips, good feet. So let's talk about it, man. Let's roll tape, clips.
Get into a couple some clips here, man. Just kind of so this is just a big thing, man. And O-line play is a mindset thing. It's really trickery. You almost got to be like a magician. That's how I treat it. Like, figure it out some way, kind of how you can do it. And I came up with this, like, everybody kind of knows the Knuckle Buck song. All the kids listen to it before a game. I kind of made it like a lifestyle. Like, that's a mindset. Every play is like a We Ready song. That's just winning the reps, and I preach the fist, you get 5 guys doing the same thing at one time, man. You cooking with gas. So that was kind of just a big thing with that, man, just to kind of roll into that. But this is just what I preach. It's a lifestyle, and they buy into it, and we get good at it, so we can kind of get into some of the clips, man, and get this opportunity to talk about just some of the things of what we see and kind of how we roll. Big on developing. So you can go back a little bit. I know we kind of all over a little bit there. Big thing with the run progression, man, which is huge. I think when you talk about run game, you got to be able to talk progressions. Like, what are you doing? So most guys just say, oh, yeah, we're going to run inside zone. You hear guys talk about what they want to do, but how are you going to do that? When you talk about O-line play, like stance, I'm huge on stance. If your stance is bad, you're physically going to lose anyway. It don't even matter how good you are. We're talking about all conference, all American guys. If the stance is bad, they're going to lose. Why are you doing a step? The steps are important. I just talked about those defensive ends being studs nowadays. The steps are not going to be the old school steps that you guys used to take. Step to the V and grab them. Like, those days are over. You gotta really like master what you're doing, and it changes with who you're going against. So what's happening is the defensive ends and freak guys are a lot with, like, they're making us change things that's been going on in football forever because the athlete is so good. So you got to talk about landmarks, being able to drive, and get into some of that stuff. We get into that first clip we had on there. Of course, just getting into the zone world, just getting a chance, the opportunity to just talk about some of that stuff. You want to have good pitchers on there and good feet. Find out how strong they can be. Get them going and get them going. Talked about the landmarks.
Sorry, I'm jumping back a little too far.
Nah, man, you're good. You're all right. So this is just a drill, an everyday drill. We're talking about just moving people. So when we start off and we don't have pads on, we get a chance to just go through this and let's just see how good we can be. Now, I've been blessed, even at the FCS level. I've got some 6'6", 6'6", 330, 340. I've got some big ones. That's some transfer guys, which the transfer portal has been really good to me. That has played. So, getting a chance to do that, but just being physical and mastering what we do. We don't get opportunity. Our indie drills aren't fun at all. So we don't get a chance to go catch balls and kind of be cool. It's nonstop a grind, and it's just finding a way. So we're here, we're just working double teams with just being good. Because we talked about 5 guys doing the same thing. You got to work in tandems and be good. So just getting good with a lot of that stuff, those same steps that we just watched. Now we'll go into this same clip.
Let me ask you something before you go. When you're
you good.
When you're so how many coaches typically are with you or assisting you with the O-line? Because you got a center who sounds like it's got to be different because you got a ball in your hand. Then you got the guard that's, I don't know, he's reading and looking at different things. Stance, as you can see, they're in 3-point stances, and your tackles are 2-point stances. So I'm asking that, how much extra help do you have and where you can actually individualize each spot by position?
Right.
Or
So
not?
definitely on the FCS level, our help is, we don't know how we get it, how we can get it when it comes to the help. So right now I have myself, a student assistant, and we have another offensive assistant that'll look at it. And really, what it is for me is I always stand about 30 yards away, so I can see the entire picture. But when the guys are in up top in the box, I have them look at the far sideline for something that I can't see. So you kind of get a chance to do that. But I'm gonna watch the near tackle closest to me every single time because he can dictate a lot of stuff that's going on. But as a former center, I put all my pressure on my centers. They physically have to be the smartest person on the field. He almost has to be smarter than the quarterback because, he doesn't have reads and things like that, but he physically has to get us into the right calls, right protection, or whatever it is. So he's got to be a genius of understanding what's going on, and he can't ever get sensitive. He can't get rattled. He can't get anything. He has to be the guy all the time.
Okay. All right. So here we go. What are we looking at?
Yep. So just kind of looking at some of this zone stuff here. So this what we get, man, in all of college football now is, George, they're not lining down in regular 4-3 boxes anymore. They all over the place now. So guys are just lining up physically in all gaps, especially with really guys that are getting, real good runs. So just in some of this zone world, really what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to take them where they're going. So once my first step is kind of engaged into these guys, we're taking them where they want to go, and we're just trying to get vertical. We're asking our running backs to just be really good nowadays because we talked about that. Those defensive line guys are really good, and they're just as strong now. So those days of just being maulers, it's changing a little bit because defensive line guys are lifting some massive weights as well. So you get a lot of stalemates when you got Jimmys and Joes on both sides of the ball. So just kind of looking at this clip here, this is just base inside zone, and they walk 2 guys down in the box. We're just trying to take them where they want to go and get just a crease. You see it here, that tackle climbs up on that backside backer, and I want that running back. I'm telling him, hey, stay down the hash. You should run the referee over and hit your head on the goalpost. And he does a good job of hitting it. He just didn't run the referee over and didn't hit his head on the goalpost.
Well, he had the guy. Well, when you see the color, you got the defensive end that's unblocked.
No doubt,
Yeah,
no doubt about
yeah,
it. And he does a good job of cutting it back. Just getting a chance to see it. But big play, really good for us to get an opportunity to kind of see that. Here we go, just kind of coming back with some of the same stuff from a formation standpoint, just creating some movement, getting guys moving. And my mindset, a lot of guys, they want to see the big run, the big 15, 20-yard run. I want 3 to 4 yards in a cloud of dust every time we touch it. And I can live in that world. If we can, strike for a big one of 40 here, I'm good. But I'm not going to ask you to take this thing for 80 every single time you touch it. That's
Can you repeat that? Because he said they're happy with 3 or 4 yards. Because everybody in the stands want to. Why you can't run the ball? Why you can't run the ball? Why he didn't take it 9? He didn't take it 10.
Yeah, when you see 3 to 4 yards, I am overly excited because that's now putting me into a 3rd-and-1 set and some other stuff like that. So I'm good with that. But same thing, still in this zone world, just getting a chance to take guys where they want to go. So if you just kind of look at it right here, that nose guard right there, I'm asking that center and that right guard to take him and physically put him in the lap of that play side backer that's kind of stacked right over that tackle over there. Yep, those two working there, and we just trying to drive those guys. On the backside, we kind of doing the same thing. We're taking that 3 technique to that backside backer, and we're just trying to roll and put our head on the ground.
So are you actually reading this guy over here?
He's going to be a true read. He's going to be a true read. If he runs and try to run and tackle it down, we've got a quarterback that's going to pull it, and he should hit his head on the goalpost. So we want to make sure we do a good job of just making sure he read it. And, and he can guess wrong. The guys are in college as well.
But the flash motion, I'm asking.
It'll just get a hold.
You're just trying to get him to hold it for a second.
Yeah, that's all we want to do. Right? Because what'll start to happen if you just go back just a pinch, what'll start to happen if he doesn't go with him like right now, he's just running. Now I know, okay, the next time I can just hand it to him. There's nobody out there because he's chasing his zone down. But the flash will always.
You're talking about handing it to the jet sweep.
Yeah, we'll hand it to the jet sweep guy. But the flash will always hold him just because it'll give him bigger. It's almost a scare tactic because he'll see it happening so fast and he'll like, oh, where he come from? And we just want to hold him. That's it. That guy's never gonna make it. If he makes the play on a running back and falls back in on it with the flash motion or the fly sweep.
Oh yeah, because now I'm just starting to get fancy because now you can actually, if that's happening consistently, you can get this little orbit right here and just speed option and read this dude.
No doubt about it. We can pick on all them guys at this point. But that's the thing, and that's what I want to do. And as I've been a run game coordinator, I'm big on. I'm just want to show you a lot of eye candy, just to get you to think. I may be running base zone, but I just need you to think.
It works because them guys can't stay focused on one little thing. You put a little something in front of them, and what is that? What is that? What is that?
Even when you tell them,
just want
that's not your guy.
Just ignore it.
Take the dive.
It's hard when you're in the fire though. When you're in the fire and it just happened, you like, if they hand it to him, I can make. And really, those guys think big play.
Yes.
If they hand it to him, I'm big. I got a big tackle for loss. I can go crazy.
Oh, there's something about that crowd noise now. Come on now. Something about that crowd noise, baby.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it, man. So we just, get a chance to roll it. And once again, if you look at it, 3 to 4 yards, and I'm good with it. I'm good with how we just want to hit that. And if he can turn it to a big play, he get opportunity to turn it to a big play. But we just wanted to bang his head down the ground. That's a good 3 yards right there. I'm okay with that.
Good stuff. Appreciate it. And welcome in, Sam. Thank you. We love to do this type of stuff. I see Chloe in here, but I wonder if that's actually Chloe or if that's Art.
It's Art.
I'm trying to figure out who you are, but we're glad y'all are here. Y'all got any questions, just let us know.
Same thing with the zone world. Definitely if you got any questions, I'm an open book. Just same thing, we kind of got that same look coming back to it.
Okay, let me ask you this though, because this is
go ahead.
This right here, so you're gonna block this end.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna block him, but the read, you can't. I'm saying
we were talking about this yesterday. The quarterback can't see him.
So this is the thing. This is where the game has actually changed in the last 2 years, right? Because as you look at this picture, you're saying he clearly can't see that read, right?
Well, I'm not saying that he can't see him,
No.
but
I'm
I'm
saying
thinking like he can't. It would not be wise for you to read this dude and then try to run this way.
right. So this is the thing, which is really good, and I actually got this actually from Andy Reid, with some of the 13 personnel stuff. And tell you what he's doing. So the quarterback is not really taking a true measure. So he's not look like him the runner. He's physically not looking at the running back. His eyes are completely on that defensive end, and the running back's handling everything else. So if he does pull it, he has a two-way go. He can pull it and go with the zone, or he can actually pull it and wheel back out and run behind him, depending on how hard that defensive end is spiking. But if you look at a pre-snap read, which I'm huge on pre-snap read pictures, that guy is so far away. Just hand the ball off.
Hold up before you say that. JT, this sure does sound like what we keep calling the quarterback follow
Yeah,
that
that's what I was
Alabama
thinking.
was running.
Yeah,
That
where
he's
you're
actually
seeing
reading something, he pulling it, but he running right behind the running back, and he ends up breaking it.
right
Yep.
That
because
sounds
Because
like
you
a-
don't have if you count the numbers, if that guy just pretty much physically runs a tackle the quarterback, or runs a tackle the running back, and he follows the zone going to the right, the next person that can make the tackle is the safety.
So way back there.
So
And
what you're describing to me here is, and I'm just gonna try to draw it with lines. Is
Okay.
if
Yep.
we're giving it to the running back here, maybe he scoots out this way, maybe he's looking for the cutback. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
But if he
Right.
just flies in here, essentially you're saying the quarterback's gonna pull this
It
and
becomes
just run
quarterback
the
zone.
same path. Either he's gonna go in here or he's gonna scoot out this way. But I'm not saying he can't, but it's maybe unlikely that he gets out this way. But he
Yeah,
can just
very likely will he get out there, but it's in just a true bass where it's just an exchange to where once again you being a magician, you asking that guy to what he's seen and what he's taught all week is, hey, they get into the zone world, you got a quarterback. Don't get juked by the quarterback. Stay out there, stay backside. So he's kind of caught in that world. Or if it's a call on and they're saying, hey, go tackle the
just take
freaking
the
running
dive.
back, he's going to tackle the running back. But there's no answer to, okay, well, that's coach didn't say if the quarterback keeps the ball and just follows the offensive line in the zone, where he now becomes a running back. And let alone if he's so worried about the boot action and the quarterback, if he just hangs on back there, now my running back's going to hit it, and now my running back's going to go block the safety. Now there's nobody can make the tackle unless you just got once again those guys.
unless somebody gets beat in here.
I tell everybody now. So it used to be those guys are on scholarship now. Those guys are getting paid as well.
Mhm.
So they're pretty good.
Coach, you got a question here from the chat. What are you telling the running back in terms of pressing the hole or cutback lanes?
Yep. So the biggest thing is see what you see and hit it. Slow to, fast through. So once you make a decision, put your foot in the ground and let's roll. So the biggest thing is you want to read the defense end. So this picture is kind of a little tricky because they walk those backers down.
Mhm.
I mean, read the nose guard, but they're gonna tell you where you want to go. So when those guys walk down, we know like right now this is just zone right. He's thinking exactly where his eyes is right now. He's hoping that center and right guard are kicking them guys out to the right. That left guard, he's hoping that he's gonna mash that thing down on that walk up backer, and my tackle can get a free release because that 5 technique, which is now in a 13 technique, way out there. So we're not even worried about him. We know, like we're overly excited when we get this because we're saying, all right, perfect.
I mean, this is actually a similar look to that first clip, right? Because the backers were walked up in that first clip. This is actually probably the same game. This is the same team, isn't it?
Yep, same team.
Refs in the same spot. The only thing that's different is he's on this side of the quarterback instead of this side of the quarterback.
So we just changed it. Just once again, we talk about that eye candy to where we're showing him something he hadn't seen, running the same exact play, just showing him something different. So he just puts his foot in the ground, and once you roll the clip, you'll see he just reading that guard, and the guard is doing the same thing, letting him run down inside and just gonna press it.
So I'm gonna say yes to somebody who has played running back. I'd say if you're a good one, you should know maybe you don't know all the calls in here, but you should know kind of how this is supposed to work out, especially
Okay.
with
Oh,
zone.
and
The zone
yeah,
the zone
definitely.
scheme is so easy for a running back to just be like, yeah, he's probably gonna pick up him, and then we'll figure it out based on whether which way they're gonna slant and things like that. But you
And
should kind of know where they're
for this
going.
for this picture right here, being with everyone covered, we would just call what we call a gang call, which is a full zone. So once we gang it, the running back knows, okay, everybody's blocked. So what he's thinking is best entry point. Front side to back side, I just know I gotta hit it because everybody's walked up and nobody's back there. So he's just really being a dude back there by finding the entry point.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Sometimes it's just
I'll go in this. So some of this, I know there's a lot of questions, and I thank you guys for doing this and being very interactive. We appreciate it. And one thing I want to put on this, so I'm always as a head coach, but there's no difference as a coordinator or something it is that what I'm hearing, is also like you said. Okay, what is the path? Where do you start, and what should the running back be anticipating? Hey, so of course it's never perfect, but you're trying to figure out. Okay, the wall, like a better words. It's kind of the crease is probably going to hit here if it
Oh,
was
I went
straight
way
up.
too far back.
Um, so the running backs tend to know that, and we try to instruct them like, hey, this week because of how they play, you might can expect it to come here. Now they might run a game, as Noah just said here. What about if they're doing all this pass rushing stuff and they're run blitzing? That is a whole different kind of animal. That's kind of hard to get to in a little session like this because all the what ifs. It's
he has to be the last one with the
yeah.
pen.
Yeah,
You
yeah. I mean,
can
that's how you win. That's how you win
talk a
chalkboard
little bit
wars, right?
through it too.
Yeah. Well, what
Oh
if we
yeah,
did
that's
this? What if we did that? But anyway, okay.
JT,
One
you
month.
kind of go forward and jump into a little bit more as well. We get into some of the other stuff, but it's just kind of all in the zone world. You can just take a big clip, take a jump into it. It's massive clips on here, so just get a chance to see some of that stuff.
Thank you very much for showing your work, by the way, and sharing the film
Uh, no
with us.
problem. So here's another one. So just once again, we talked about just really creating pretty pictures. We want clean boxes just to try to get guys out of the box. So we just kind of get into some of this world, which is some of the same stuff of what you kind of guys just saw with some of the zone game stuff, with just seeing how it can develop. You know,
Is this a
we can get
draw or what is this? Or you calling this a zone?
this is actually that's still in the zone world. So we can just actually just get a chance. We're just trying to just create lanes in that zone world.
Okay.
So they got a little funky here. We're actually running it to the 3 technique now. We've been running it to the to the shade. So I like to personally run it to the low shade, so I can get at least 2 double teams. But
You
here,
want to explain that just when they're
Oh,
saying shade,
interesting.
low shade?
if you go back to that steel picture, the first part there.
Yeah, let him get
Give me
set
one
here.
little click. All right, here we go. So just talking about this left tackle here. We're talking about in the zone world. This for anybody who want to run zone. This is kind of a lot of guys kind of run it different ways. I'm big on double teams. And I say this in a weird way. And some parents kind of look at me like, you shouldn't say that, but it's just a realistic part of life. So this generation, they don't really fight by themselves. They fight in groups. That's kind of what they do when it does happen. Not encouraging them, saying when it does happen. So, no one knows how to do anything really by themselves anymore. So now I'm taking something that this generation does well and marrying it to football play. They're really good with doing, even when they play video games. You never see anybody play a video game by themselves. It's always us two versus those two, or us two versus online.
Mhm.
So I made this mindset of being really good at it. So just told this left tackle actually has a solo block here. He's actually just kicking that guy out. But when you talk
The
about
5
in that
technique or
yep, he's kicking that 5 technique out. When you talk about getting like 2 for 2 massive double teams, if I wanted to run it this way, now that left guard and that center, they're going to double team to that play side backer right there. So they're working for him. So that's one double team there. So now on the backside, the same thing. We're taking that 3 technique, those 2 for those 2. I'm still got my same read, but I get 2 double teams. Versus if I run it the other way, I only get 1 double team with the center
Right,
and the
because
backside.
you're gonna have to single him, and then you
Yeah.
would double to this guy now, right? You're gonna leave
Yep.
him alone, and he's just gonna climb.
Yeah. But versus we talked about it. Would I rather get 4 big guys double teaming or just 2?
Right.
So
Yep.
you want to marry it up like that, which it works. And it's gonna hit in a different way. And fast flowing linebackers can change that. This guy number 6 just went in the transfer portal and he's at Ole Miss now. They gave him like $325K. So he was a dude in the SWAC. So he's a fast flowing downhill guy. So let's just make him wrong. Let's make him run himself to a spot and we run to the other spot. And if we can get hands on him because he was a smaller guy, just get in the way sometimes.
Nice cut.
Put your foot in the ground and roll.
Look at that ref. That ref want to make tackle, dog. What you talking about, boy? Get out of that ref want to make tackle. He got up out of there, dog.
What he doesn't know is he is a part of that. he is a part of that. So just get a chance to do some of that, man. It's cool. Now you're getting some of your heavier personnel. So I've done it out of your 10, you get your 10 personnel looks. Now, okay, we're getting closer to the goal line. All right, let's bring some more beef in there. So now there's a 12 personnel look. Once again, just talking about the eye candy. Okay, we lined up one way. All right, let's just see what they do. We just jump both of them to the other side. They don't move. Great, even better. So
right,
now
it looks like they're in 2s here.
Yep, they actually I think they may be they're in double 2s. Okay, I
only got one lineman over here to the right.
Exactly.
That's just tight end.
Wait, hold on. Is that true?
There's nobody outside. So we jump and he didn't.
He had a 7 technique.
So now you talk about the numbers. So we got a quad pitcher now, and we just hit it out the back door. But ideally, if you can get it back to that steel shot at the top without, I don't want to mess you up here.
He could have went to the front. It's a play before. Oh no.
Yeah, no. Here we go.
He could have went out right door.
Oh, no doubt. So we could have, like I'm saying, we could have ran right, but we just ran split zone.
Look at that right there, that gap. That
now that Reed guy that would normally be back there, now we took the second tight end, which is it, and now he's just kicking him out. So now only guy can make the play is the safety that's falling back in on that thing.
Yeah, he's got a fold, and 77 is going to get him though.
Yeah, he got a lot. He got to make a business decision of what he's gonna do now. He got to stick with it.
Okay, let's get a couple questions in here. How do you conduct offensive tempo depending on the game situation?
It's a feel. I think after explosive plays, we want to run a tempo. Our goal is every 13 seconds we want to snap the ball. Every 13 seconds. So that's our base offense. Every 13 seconds we want to snap the ball. But we've got
how many plays you trying to get in? 80, 85?
We should average at least 85 to 92 plays. If we can get that, we know we control the time of possession and we can win the game.
Think so, 90 plays.
So we really want to roll it. So and definitely after like explosives, I think any explosive run or pass, 15 yards or plus, get into your tempo where even if you don't snap it, get into your tempo where let's let them think it's tempo. Sometimes you may run it, sometimes you won't, but you got to involve the tempo because the game is so fast. And, those guys are getting paid. Defensive coordinators getting paid a lot of money. If you sit back and allow guys to I try to get you a raise there, if you allow them guys to adjust, they will. So you really don't want them to adjust. Along with everything that's going on, take away the thinking to where, it's happening so fast that either got to burn a timeout or for my mindset is if he does figure it out, I need him to figure it out in the second half. To where I've had my fun with it. And once you spending all your time in the locker room yelling about what you're going to do, I probably won't even run it anymore. I'm probably moving on to something.
I guess we all played in a time where you didn't have to allow the defense to substitute. So even when I was in college, we used to, I was playing receiver then, we used to just run these go routes, right? 40 yards, 40 yards, 40 yards, and then say, Coach, I'm tired. And I'll just walk off the sideline and we stick a new receiver in there. And when we would change personnel, you didn't have to wait. Right. Yeah. And then you got these big old defensive linemen running off the field, and we would just call wide zone, either right or left. It didn't even matter. We didn't care what the look was. We just knew, like, look, you're about to get a substitution infraction. I don't care if we can block these dudes or not. We're about to get 5 yards.
No doubt. No doubt.
So last one here.
I hate that rule. I 100% hate the rule. And I get it from a standpoint of, but, you know,
Spoken from the mind of an
Yeah, for
offensive
real,
guy.
though.
Spoken from the mind of an offensive guy.
it's a major loss for us because my guys are back on the ball and we're prepared,
Coach
to kind of run the
Watson,
play.
stop, man. Y'all don't get
hold
caught
on.
with nothing on
Man.
offense
See, I'm
already,
gonna challenge
man.
you on that
I'm like, man, you
because
guys
them
can't
receivers,
like,
them receivers that ran. Y'all not back on the ball. What you did was you ran him to the other side of the field and he walked off, and the other guy was just ready to go.
yeah. I mean, especially coming from a center, and I just imagine, which I like I said, I didn't get to play in that system or that rule now. I can just imagine how mad I would be to know that I'm back on the ball and I just had an explosive play. I'm back on the ball. I'm tired. And because we actually subbed a receiver, they can bring in a fresh D lineman. Like, that is awful. That is awful.
Hey, now I
I'm
can
dead
sympathize with you
tired,
with
and
that.
he can bring it. That is
I can
terrible.
sympathize with that.
Man, that is torture. That is just think, and I think about my tackles because this is what this happened. This is real life. Like, you get big play.
You just allowed Michael Parsons to get back in the game,
and now you bring not even a true defense in. You bring a linebacker that's just a true rush in, and you like, come on, man. Like, God. So it's a two-way go, where it works. But the big part about it is in whatever offense or whatever system you're trying to run with your tempos, just don't sub. If you got a sub, you might as well just go to a new scheme.
right?
Don't
slow
try
back down and yeah,
because it's for your defensive guys now.
Real quick on this one, the zone read is it used to put as much stress on the defense as possible?
Well, it's big with letting them run themselves out of gaps. So when you think about any type of zone in the world, the zone is meant for you to go to a certain area. But if that area, and I look at it, I kind of break everything down like the war. I'm real big into the war. So in my meeting room, they're like, "Who cares about the war?" But I'm into that. I'm big into the battles to where, hey, if they're shooting over there and they're bombing over there, that's the zone where. That's not where we want to run the zone. We want to run the zone the other way, to where maybe they got some arrows or something that we can dodge. So we want to kind of get into that. So just that's the biggest thing. It's gonna it's really to put the defense into just a complete hoorah of what they're gonna do. So just these guys here were really good, and we're trying to just figure it out, like physically trying to figure it out, because they actually manhandle us pretty good up front. And I'm like, hey, if this safety is going to just physically keep running out the hash, please just hit this ball down the hash. And he does a good job of just hitting it and rolling. And it worked out, man, because if you can see by my right guard right there walking, which I was pretty juiced up about him walking, he's been getting beat up on. It's been a rough game for him, and he's just like, thank you, God. And which that was a big one for him, but he's just like, those guys are really good up front. So it was really good. Take a couple click, make a big click there. I want to show you just kind of get into some of the mindset things of what let's see. You can kind of keep going. That's a good one here. So now you kind of get into some of the outside zone world. So now you get into where those guys are. If you can get that click, that clip there back to the wide, that'd be awesome. Right, almost there. Let me.
Is it the next play? If it's the next play, I'll just.
I think it is the next play. Yep. I'm gonna tell you when to pause. It's gonna be a big click here. Click me up right there. All right. So that, like, when you talk about the zone world, like, that's probably the prettiest picture you're gonna get out of any offensive line play in the country. Like, that wall.
Hey, I mean, this looks like punt return now.
Oh, punt return, building that wall. Right?
So, like, if in the zone world, like, that's what you want. Now, when you get into the outside zone world, it's saying, how can I get all of my guys on one side of the defender? So, it ain't really necessarily taking where he want to go. Now I'm really trying to get my body on the opposite side of where he really wants to go and just let them guys be really good. So this is like probably the most clinicest picture that I can take, that I was just like, man, if you can get this on any outside zone in the country, you're going to be really, really good.
Yes, sir. And he's talking about
once
letting
again,
those guys be guys.
It didn't go for 90 yards. It didn't go for 90. It went for 8, and I'm good with it.
Mhm.
And that team was really good. Then you get into the gap world, man, and be really good with a lot of the gap stuff, just
Love that gap
downhill.
cam. So let's talk a little bit about that. You know what?
Mhm.
Actually, JT,
Mm-hmm.
why don't we pay a bill first and then come back and do a little bit of this gap game?
All right.
You know, man, we're always thankful for all our sponsors and the people that help. Give us 90 seconds. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, George Teague here, formerly of the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Dallas Cowboys. So let me ask you a question. Are you an athlete or a coach looking to boost your online visibility? Well, you've got to check out On3. Their personalized web pages amplify the total you on and off the field. Whether you want to grow your visibility, build your brand, or simply show the world who you truly are, On3 is here for you. They showcase the complete person, celebrating your passions, perseverance, and the pursuit of excellence beyond sports. These web pages are the ultimate digital hub to elevate your brand and highlight your journey. So head on over to www.on3.io/microsites and get started with On3 today. Yes, sir. We're bringing it back. Hey, thank you to the sponsors, Blackfire, being as big as they are with us. Thank you, Titan Texas, as well, for supporting us. There is a Titan Texas event coming up on the 29th of January. It's the Do Right show or documentary
Mm-hmm.
by Coach Stallings. So you can get to Titan Texas. Go online and buy some tickets there. There's going to be some people. Me, Preston Pearson will be there. Derek Glassick's coming. Um, Bill Jones from CBS is going to be a moderator, asking some questions. So it's going to be a great time. We're going to be raising some money for the Rise School, which is Gene Stallings' school that he has here, but also in Tuscaloosa. JT, big shout out to everybody for giving us the follows and things of that nature. Make sure you subscribe to our page. We are at 2,800. We're trying to get to that 3,000 number here. So as you're watching this, if you like it, share it. Tell people to follow for us. You see, we don't do a whole lot of begging for money around here. We beg for subscribers, right? So subscribe. That's free. Just hit it. Tell somebody else to hit it. Help us get there. That's what we would appreciate. Okay, so we did a lot about zone, right, guys? I know there's some physical components to inside and outside zone, the double teams and all that kind of stuff, but maybe you can kind of tell us a little bit difference when people say, hey, do you run a zone scheme or a gap scheme for the novice? What's kind of the difference, coach?
So the biggest difference is in the zone world. Now I'm asking, I've got this adding some pullers. So now I'm asking big guys instead of running in zones to get big in space. So now we're just giving it a different look of it's a kind of a set the tone type of play. It's a true like downhill play. The ball is going to hit a lot faster because the play is happening so fast, and you got some extra guys running. So now I'm asking some big guys to, get hands on some little guys on the second level. So you just get an opportunity. A lot of misdirection stuff. Really, what the gap scheme does, I'm trying to fool the linebackers. I'm trying to make them think / have bad eyes so I can hit the ball downhill. And that's either in front of them or behind them. So just kind of get into that zone world. And that zone, the gap world is going to be like a power or it's going to be like a true counter where you get opportunity to get two pullers. So you're going to have a puller in the gap world, maybe a guard, maybe a center, maybe a tackle, but they're going to be one or two. And sometimes I've recently got three pullers out in one play. So it's
I saw somebody else running that. I was looking at some film. I think it was Tennessee. They had the guard, the tackle, and the
And the why?
Why? All
Oh yeah,
going. But anyway,
it gets kind of, it's a lot going on with it. But in the gap world, once again, just trying to hit it downhill and let it happen fast.
well, but
The
it
worst that
creates
I've seen
problems.
is the one that Baylor did this. I think it was the year that TCU had went to the national championship, where they were pulling both guards, but they were like half pulling. So they went and then they turned around and went back the other way,
And
and I
going
was like,
back, oh, yeah.
what
Now
is this?
that's first of all, it's very nasty. I love it, but you have to have a special individual to do that.
Yeah,
Because what happens is, and I think it's a game plan thing. Because if you have a lot of the linebackers in FBS ball right now, they're not going to make the play, but they're physically, when your offensive lineman turns his back, when he turns back around, it's going to be trouble.
mm-hmm.
You stay away from that. That's
Okay.
pretty rough there. But yeah, the zone world, man. So just kind of getting the tight end involved, just running the counters. You always gonna get a kick and a wrap, just trying to get big guys in space. If I can ever get offensive lineman or a linebacker to run itself out of a gap, and I can get my offensive lineman on a safety, I win.
Time,
Because
time, 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 time. I'm sorry. I'm the one that always got to try to slow you down when we're talking. JT and I know what you're talking about, but you got to explain. Kick
okay,
and rap. What are we?
good.
What are we
No,
talking?
all good. It's all good. So here we go. So when you talk about kick, the kick is, I'm asking this right guard. He's got, the first thing off of the edge, which of course is going to be that five technique right there. We're trying to kick him out. We're just trying to take him to the other sideline. Now the wrap in this instance here, I want to say this is, I've got the tight end. This is my YG counter
The
here.
tackle.
Yeah, you have
Is
the
it a
tackle.
tackle?
Yeah,
I
it's
couldn't
gonna be
see.
a tackle.
Okay, yep. So the tackle. So he's now going to become a rapper. So he's rapping for the first thing, which is going to be inside of that gap there. It could be a linebacker. It could be a safety filling. But once again, I'm now just changing the progression and changing the landmarks to now I'm getting a 315-pound guy running at a guy that may be 240, maybe 260, sometime maybe 280, and sometimes he doesn't know that guy's coming. So it's a set the tone type of play to slow those guys down because it's a kill shot. So you get a kick and a wrap, which in the counter world, you're always going to get a kick and a wrap out of counter. And it may be the tackle, it may be the guard and tackle, it may be the guard and the tight end, it may be the guard and the running back leading for the quarterback. So it's always going to be two guys, a kick and a wrap.
Okay,
Okay,
so
well, I have my standard question that I gotta ask since we're on gap scheme now. That I gotta ask all
Okay.
offensive line coaches.
Gotcha.
In layman's terms, tell me how I can distinguish whether what I'm looking at is counter versus power, and then I have a follow up after you tell me that answer.
Gotcha. Power, one puller, counter, two puller.
Great.
Simple. The final answer to it.
Okay, and then how do I distinguish between inside zone?
In duo.
Yes.
That's probably physically every clinic I do. That's probably the number one question. So this is going to be the thing. You may not physically be able to see the difference, but duo is a power with no puller. The footwork of the offensive line are going to be different. In the zone world, guys are doing this. In the duo world, they're just going vertical. They're coming off the ball.
Okay.
So that'll be the biggest
you're
thing.
Saying, you're saying as if I'm, I guess it probably doesn't truly matter as a defensive coordinator. I'm like, look, whether I call it inside zone or duo, I mean the run fits are probably going to be the same anyway. But if I was actually trying to make the distinction, what you're telling me is I need to be looking at feet and ferocity off the line versus
no doubt,
okay.
No doubt, because I'm gonna tell you. Now, you may say it's no different, but in the zone world, you could run it down. In the duo world, we're reading those backers. So they're running. So, like in the zone world, they know the combo is going to that backer.
Mm-hmm.
In the duo world, that backer
you're
is
getting the
read.
double team, and then if he goes
so
this
if
way,
that backer
he's going to come
there,
off.
the running back has to go there. So it's physically like old school cat and mouse. If he runs left, I run right. If he runs right, I run left. the play funnels itself out. You running away like the backer is he never going to make the duo play because he's the cat and mouse game. So you're hoping that either the backside backer or the safety is going to fill it, depending on if it's out of a 12 or 11 personnel set. Because if not, it's you're just going to be playing a guessing game, or you're going to run that linebacker crazy.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get to this before I ask my other question. I want to see what happens.
But the good job by the kick and getting the guy to wrap, that's kind of what you want out of it, man. Just it's a true downhill. And you'll see the speed of gap scheme. Gap scheme play happen really fast, meaning the running back.
Because you really don't have. I'm not going to say he doesn't have a read, but you're kind of teaching him just to trust it, right? Like trust that he's going to get out the way and the hole's going to be. It's like what we're telling the guys on kick return. It's like, look, you just assume the hole's going to be there and just hit it full speed. And when it's there, it looks pretty, and when it's not, it's not.
The only thing that probably the difference is you're now telling him, hey, you either got one guy to follow or two. Mm-hmm. Follow those guys. If you run away from those guys, you are on your own. So you just hoping, like you said, that either that one guy's going to lead you to the promised land or those two.
Okay. And it's not on here, and I know we can't find the clip, but me and JT see this crap happening all the time. So why are we running these plays?
Oh, I'm sure
the two pullers go one direction. So it looks like a quarterback counter. That's basically I can put it. The two running backs go one direction. Running back goes opposite direction, and they hand the ball to the running back when everybody's going the other way. I keep seeing it too many times. What is the?
So it's literally in the same family as we talked about, putting the back on the same side with the read. So putting the back. Yeah, putting it back to the same side of the read to where the quarterback can't see the read. It's in the same world. It's just an exchange. Their responsibility to change. The quarterback is a quarterback with catching the ball, but they're changing roles in the play. So the running back becomes the quarterback, and the quarterback becomes the running back. So the running back is really a read guy without the ball, and the quarterback is the running back with the ball now. So it's called bash. It's just a gap exchange, and it's really because what you're going to see is
how many times does it actually work? How many times does it actually work when you're trying to block the backside defensive end?
It actually works way more than you think it is, just from the simple fact of it puts linebackers in conflict. Really, what you may see sometimes, you actually may see the backers run into each other because the reads they're cross reads. Because you're not gonna have both backs go chase that way. You're not gonna have someone has got the running back. They just it's gap exchange. So the gaps are actually physically crossing. So it's really just a freezing. But depending on the athlete you got may just stand there. He may take a big two shuffles, and he may make the play.
It just seemed like to me. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm understanding.
But when you get into why
isn't the quarterback just keeping it? Because half the time the running back's getting. Maybe it's not half. I know you said but every time I see it, it looks like the running back's getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
He is pretty much the tackle. They do it a lot with Lamar Jackson. A lot. They send Derrick Henry one way and they go chasing him, and he pretty much goes the other way, following behind somebody else. And it's like, what? But it's just schemes. You just hope it's a betting game. They do it a lot with Lamar. They do it a lot with Lamar.
Okay.
But yeah, so just downhill, you see it like just how fast the plays happen.
Ooh, we gone.
It happens quick. So
why that safety running like a Forrest Gump?
Yeah, I was just about to say Forrest Gump. Yeah,
he's running for his life.
What are you doing?
Yeah, he's running for his life.
Moving that fast.
And that's 4-3 kid that's coming out of there. So sometimes you just like it's. I hadn't been back there to ever run that fast, so I haven't chased anybody. So I don't know how that feels at that angle. George, you would definitely know, but I can't tell you how that feels. But just see how fast, guys, it happens with the kick. You get a kick and a wrapper once again. Guard kick, guy wrap inside, boom, hit it and go. Hit it and roll.
Okay, talk about this too. This is something different. It's not necessarily about the play. It's just we
Mhm.
see it all the time with this type of formation. So what are you
Right.
trying to look at? Me and JT explain it, but I want to hear from you when you're starting to get what we're tend to call
I'm,
unbalanced.
I'm actually physically like taking the counter and just trying to run like misdirection. I'm trying to put everybody over there because you're thinking heavy personnel. You're really thinking probably more split zone or outside. I like to show it off an outside zone look. So once I put those two tight ends over there, and I may run outside zone, I may go for +8, +9. So now the next time I put those two tight ends and adjust them and move them defensively, you're probably gonna roll those guys over there to the two tight end set, but it's gonna leave somebody back to back door. So I'm gonna just run the ball and counter back the other way. That's all it is, just a cat and mouse game. Hoping you take an extra guy to the twins and run it back the other way. That's all you want to do.
We got another question here that says, "What are some specific qualities that you want in your offensive line?"
So just it kind of changed with the position. I'll say that. From the tackle standpoint, I want them long frame, be able to. I'm big on be able to like get into a set. He's got to be able to kick slide and be really good in the pass pro world because he's on an island. That guy's gonna be by himself on an island, so that's gonna be the biggest thing. He's got to be able to like face it. He's got to be a guy that's mentally strong because if there is a sack, normally that sack happens out there. So he's got to be able to move, have a next play mindset. Now I don't teach sacks, but once again, it happens. And when it happens, sometimes it happens on the edge because that guy's out there by himself. When you talk about the inside guys, I kind of want them guys to kind of have a little bit of loose screws, big frames. I'm a big and massive type of O-line coach. Some guys like long, slender, pretty guys. I like them big and massive inside. So you always gonna see big, huge guys because I want to get downhill. I know they can move people. And that guy's got to be like, he could be a dog. He got to be a dog because I'm asking him to do some wild things in space and move people probably 89 plays at a time. So just got to be good with that.
Okay, and so I'm gonna tag on to this question,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not trying to get you to pick on any of your guys, but let's just say you're at a place and you got you just have 5 offensive linemen. You got 4 good ones and you got 1 not so good one. Where do you hide the not so good? Because clearly he's not a tackle. You're not gonna put him out there at tackle.
Right. I'm hoping I can put him at center and cover him all the way up. And if he's not from a IQ standpoint, can understand the game, I can put him beside really good guards and cover him up. Excuse me. If he can snap really good. Excuse me. So that's a big thing for me. But that's the one place you can cover him up. He can't hide anywhere else.
Okay. I was actually expecting you to say guard, but okay, center.
So the only thing with the guard is if he's not as good as you probably want him to be, you're probably going to be a zone team and you're going to be handcuffed because
you're not going to be able to pull him.
He's not going to be good in space. So when you do that, it's kind of like I'm picking and choosing. But at the center, he's stepping left and right majority of the time anyway, and always got help, so you can cover him up. That's what I tell any like when I go play with a lot of high school coaches. So here you go, which kind of goes right back into it with just showing you some extra action of just trying to hold them. It's kind of just getting back into that jet world, and you just wanted to time up with the mesh just enough to where we've handed that ball to that guy like 2 or 3 times, but then you just get a chance to get him to go and come right on back.
Yeah, well, I like how he sets up this block here,
and that's the tight end. So this is something that I've like tried out, and it ended up being a huge play. It's split zone and counter at the same time. So really, you got people just moving, and you just don't know where the ball is at.
Yep.
All right, so here we go. This is kind of what I wanted to get into in the gap world. This is we rushed for 10 touchdowns this year on just this formation.
Well, I mean, how could you not? Look at these dudes.
So I'm gonna give you when you go to the back shot, I'm gonna kind of give you what it is. Here we go. Pause it. All right, so this is what I call the buck. I kind of talked about that buck set of the knuck of your buck mindset. So like the year before, we were okay on like third and short, goal line, and I'm like, I want to be better. So I'm like, what can I do? And I did all this time spending all this research, looking for things, and I just could not find it. I physically sat down one day in my office and was like, I'm going to take out every single skill player and put all 9 offensive linemen in the game and hand the ball to a tight end who's a really good tight end. He's an All-American tight end. And we're just going to see what happens. So you go through these clips. I got some clips on these next couple of clips, and we're just running power. And we had 10 touchdowns. And I got 9 offensive linemen in the game.
Look at them backs, them farm back, 55, 72.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the only skill players out there is the quarterback and the tight end, who's a 245-pound tight end, probably. And you just
Bam.
So if you just let some of these clips roll, these will be some of those. And this is a mindset thing.
Get out of the way.
We just rolling off of it. And that kid had 10 touchdowns off of this. Like, he's supposed to be an All-American tight end catching the ball, but he physically had 10 touchdowns just doing
But they're having fun doing this too, though. Right? I mean,
this guys get excited because Coach, can we just
call it?
But it was what it was, man. Is it was scary because like we didn't get to a lot of our goal line and red zone packages because we just kind of got in this, and they were scoring from anywhere from 25 on out. And I called it anywhere. This play is called. This is like 3rd and 1 backed up. Let's just roll to the house. 72 yards.
So what did you say? Hold on. You had a puller.
It's 4 pullers.
Yeah, so you're creating all kind of extra gaps for one side.
Oh yeah, I'm just getting everybody going one way, and like you can't. I mean, what are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do. I've got all the pullers going.
Oh, that hurt. Somebody just got drove.
I mean, everybody like I've got all the pullers. If you look at all the gold helmets coming that way, like they're coming one way, and it was just. It was awesome, man. So when you talk about mindset, you talk about the power world, like you got 9 offensive linemen.
This is your tush push.
There's nothing you can do, and we don't have to run exactly the tush push. We just line down and just roll it. And half the time we just.
So what's the one pass you got on there? I know you got one pass in there. You got something.
We never got to it. Believe it or not.
You can't tell it. You can't tell it, can you?
But you know what? This is the thing. You talk about the pass. Who are you throwing it to? Ain't no eligibles.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So it's really a true mindset thing of just I'm hoping and praying like, hey, this just don't work. But I mean, if you get a guy that can hit it and be really good at it, man. I mean, we took 3rd and 1s to 3rd and first and 20 on the goal line for long runs and just something was good, man. But you talk about creating extra gaps. So I've got a clinic going on just about this here in the next 2 weeks. Everyone's been kind of calling about it. And they're like, man, like, just talk to me about this package. And I'm like, guys, find a really good, like, athletic guy and put some big guys out there and let it roll. But it was an illusion, Did I expect to really honestly have the success that I had out there with 9 linemen? I really didn't know. I was just trying to get a first down, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, and just end up having success out of it.
What do you call the package? Is it like hamburger or double cheeseburger, Whopper? What is it?
It's the buck package. It's the Nuck of your buck package.
All right.
And my head coach loved it, man. He really, he would. We could have the ball anywhere, and he'd be, you'd be yelling, run the buck. And I'm like, no way. Like we're not doing that. Like this physical game right here, man, we ran it 21 times, and physically the guy's like, Coach, please stop running that. I'm like, well, you got to stop getting first downs. Like if you keep getting first downs, man, what you think, what do you think is going to happen? But, just kind of getting to some of that on. And you can kind of go in some more clicks, man. I think I got some pass stuff on there just so we make sure we get some pass stuff out of there, not all run game stuff.
Yeah, we'll probably go about 15 more minutes. Take it.
Okay. What you got here?
Oh,
okay. That's
Psych.
Still in the power world. Yeah, got a little power read game there. That key was really good. Transfer from Missouri, just being really good. have some of that, just some of the extra read stuff now, to where you just trying to play trickery. Sometimes you hand it, sometimes you don't. You don't know what you're gonna get. That's just handing the ball to the big man.
Let's see if we
I think,
can
what
find
is
some
this?
pass.
How about that game on the line? I think this is the game on the line, game winning touchdown. Awesome.
Nice.
Well,
All right.
first time. That was my first time ever in Texas and won the game. I was pretty excited about that.
Nice. All right. Pass.
Yep. So now just kind of getting some of the pass game world. The biggest thing with the pass pro is you want to make sure you identify the box. And I'm big on, if you want to let turn anybody loose, turn them loose to the quarterback's front side where he can see. If you don't turn him loose to the front side that he can see, guys, I promise you the quarterback does not have eyes in the back of his head. It's going to be a bad day for him. So for us, we're always trying to split the field in half, and we're going to man one side. We're going to take care of the other side, and we're going to make sure that we got bodies, which that was almost really bad by our running back. That could have hurt really bad.
I'm trying to figure out what that linebacker was
me
doing.
too. Why are we leaving your feet? What are we doing?
He should just ran through him.
Yes.
He should have physically ran through him. And I run a half man, half slide, which is just I'm sliding from the center on over, and on the backside of any of our protections, we're just manning it.
Okay, so take that to a still. So you're sending 3. I want you to try to talk to them about this. But you're going to send 3 to one side, and the other guy's got to.
Yep. So when you talk about in the man slide world, we're always going to slide away from the back. So the center, the right guard, and the right tackle, they don't have people. They have gaps. So you got the right tackle's in charge of the C gap. Whoever shows up, the right guard has got the B gap. Whoever shows up, the center's got the A gap. Whoever shows up on the backside, you can see that backside, that left guard and the left tackle. That's to the man side. They have men. Those two for those two. However they twist, stunt, move, me and you got these two. The running back is got that backside backer, which is pretty much like stacked right here over top. The first one in the box would really be the one that's guy right over here, around this overhang guy right out here outside by the tight end. So he's got anything inside to outside of that. And anybody extra from a third level standpoint, the quarterback should be throwing off.
So which way is the running back looking first? He's looking inside out, so he's going to look right to left, or is he going to look?
So really, right now, his eyes actually go to that overhang, because that one backer that's actually in the box is actually the center's guy. Well, really, it's the slide, but 9 and 10, he's probably going to go in the A gap.
Yeah. So what he's saying is, because we just said the gap, if the guy to the right of the official actually came, somebody over there should pick him up.
Yeah, those 3 will have those 3. So it'll be 3 for 3, 2 for 2, running back, quarterback, everybody else.
Got it.
Okay. You just cue it up. So, you get that, and that's kind of your base 60 pro. That's, your 6-man stuff where you want to be. Even on the college level, including the stuff I did in the league, it's a keep it simple, stupid thing. If you make pass protection hard, you're asking for your quarterback to get killed. Keep it as simple. I'm a KISS theory. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it super simple so they can understand what you're trying to do. This is more in the 50s world. Now we're getting that back out. So now that just exchanges. The guy that the running back would have, the quarterback now has. So you looking at the 50s here, still sliding away from it. That the quarterback now has that backer that's right there shaded to that to the referee. That backer that's just sliding in space, that's the quarterback's guy. So if that guy was to pull the trigger and blitz, we need to be throwing off of that guy, or he needs to have a really good insurance policy. That's gonna hurt.
I've got a question from Joe Wiseman. How do I convince my coach to get away from just straight man pass protection concepts? So I guess
you must have really good. You must have like 5 of the best O linemen in the world. That is the hardest thing to do, is to stop 5 guys to just run around. The biggest thing with that is just show them some stuff of taking pressure off of your line. Because to what happens is when you get into the man protection world, you're asking your guys to physically win every single rep versus in the man slide world, it may sometimes be 3-on-2, or it may be
do you ever just full
three on
slide
three.
and just sit in the
Oh
back?
yeah. Well, you got to do that if they get into more than what you can actually protect. So when you start getting overhangs, walked up, bear looks, and things like that, you got to slide and you got to kick the protection one way or another. But it's an adjustment. So I think when you get into anything 5 to an 8 man front/box, you got to get into your full slide world. But when in the man world, if anybody miss, it's gonna be a sack.
It's a game
But
over.
in the man slide world, if the tackle miss, he may have help by the guard. So now those three could block those two if a backer don't come. So you just gotta tell them like, hey, we're working against what we really do. We don't want big guys in space in the pass pro world. In the run game, yeah, we want to get big guys running in space. In the pass pro, we want to keep as much space, and we come up phone booth, keeping guys in a phone booth. If you get a really big guy with a smaller guy in a phone booth, the small guy may struggle to get out of there.
Well,
You
I
put
guess
him in a trampoline, it's in trouble.
the analogy I'm thinking of is when you go to the club or someplace where they got a bouncer, they don't put the bouncer 15 feet in front of the door.
Absolutely not.
They want
You
him
got to
right
get
at
through
the door because they don't want
You
him
gotta get
moving
through-
nowhere. You want to be right there so he can zone the door instead of trying to man up people trying to get in out on the street.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I use it in the pirate world. I tell them, I say, listen, guys, we got the goal. They have to come on the boat to get the goal. We don't have to go to their boat. They physically got to come on our boat to get the goal. So if they come on our boat, we have to defend the boat. So the goal is the quarterback. Like just that's they got to come to us, and that's why I like the man slide world because it's based on gaps. Defense is based on gaps. So I don't care. I tell everybody, I don't care what you do defensively. I don't care what you do. I'm taking away gaps.
Nice. Okay. I keep getting caught up. JT, I got to be honest that earlier he was talking about, he's talking about the pressure these offensive linemen got. And, based upon his statement where he's saying, hey, the defensive ends typically tend to be the best guys on the field.
Ain't no doubt.
I'm questioning him a little bit, man, because I'm a defensive back, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I like what he's saying right here. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's it right now. That's it.
I think he's being a little biased because he working up front and all that kind of stuff.
I tell you this. You can talk about from a credit standpoint. I physically, and I say that maybe because, and that could be biased because I see those guys, right? I'd actually throw you a bone here. I physically can't touch, bump, cough, or anything on a receiver without a penalty. So you like it is, and I tell our DB coach all the time, like I physically would hate your job. Like that has to be the worst job in the world with just your guy over there by himself, and you're hoping and praying that he's gonna break on the ball, not touch the guy. He don't throw the ball up in the air and the guy catch. I'm with you. I'm with you there. That's a tough spot. That's a really tough spot. And the pass interferences are absolutely ridiculous in the game of football right now. So I can't tell you how many you would have really had nowadays.
Right. Oh, you did. I don't know. I could have played. There's plenty of us couldn't play with 5-yard chuck rule and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I just kidding you on
can't
that.
touch it.
We have fun on the show. We always talk some stuff, but those
it's all good.
Some of these defensive ends now, the way their speed off the ball and their ability to actually know how to hand fight, and all the things you're teaching people on when you're trying to shoot your hands as an offensive lineman, and
they got all the timing, they got all the pieces, man. They
chopping, they ripping, they swimming, they pulling, they bulling.
It's they do a good job of just and they're getting fancy now. So this is one of those looks to where you really would full slide it. Like, hey man, they got a lot of guys up there. Let's we might want to kick this thing. So now when you get into the slide world, kick it to the quarterback's backside so he can see the front side, unless you have a true plan for it. But I'm gonna kick it left, and just so he can see it, unless you got something called on. I think we might have had the flip protection on here. Let me see. I think we slid the other way.
Okay, I'll run it. Yep. Oh well,
Yeah,
there's another guy sitting out here. You gotta.
Yeah, so he's got a +1, so that's why we flipped it to go the other way, so we can get really to bring an extra
Oh,
2
so
out there.
you had to max protect here. You kept the tight end and the back end.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I mean, you have to.
It's 8-man. It's an 8-man protection there, just because they physically got like 9. I think they had like 9 dudes up there. They did a good job at it.
Well,
I don't know. I
let's
was like,
let's go to the wide. There you go.
Yep.
Let me get back
Everybody.
there.
Okay, so let me ask this from a standpoint now, because we know why we're walking them up there, right? And we're trying to
mhm.
hopefully figure out which way you're going to turn, so we can dictate who's blitzing and who isn't, because somebody's going to pop out. Either
So
the
the worst part about that offensively that works in you guys' favor times a million. If you walk them down there, we have to identify and flip the protection. We have to.
regardless
So
if
it's
you thinking they coming or not, because
you
the
have to
chances
flip.
are all of them could come if we.
No doubt. You have to physically, if you walk up 2 guys outside, that tackle's gonna say, hey, we gotta go out there 100% of the time. And the worst part about it, what happens is you defensive guys get really creative, is you may walk 2 outside, don't bring neither and drop both of them, but run a stunt on the backside. So I've kicked everybody over there, but y'all run a TE back there. So like you guys get creative, and that's now you guys are doing a cat and mouse game to where it don't work out for us. So we're really hoping now I'm asking the quarterback, please be really good.
Right, because you can't. You don't want to try to anticipate them dropping out, because if you're wrong, that's a they're close to the ball, right? That's the one that you can't give up. At least you're gonna give up somebody for 7.
Yeah, the one time you guess and they don't come. I mean, you guess and they do come.
Somebody's going in the hospital.
Guys, that could be bad. Like, these guys horsepower, like they're not just walked up on the ball, they're coming from a little bit of depth. Like, that could be rough. Yeah. And he may not see him. Yeah, I don't.
Some coaches are really good at this, and you're always trying to figure out. I can remember being with Zim, and those guys, and they're always trying to figure out how do you get your best guy free, and hey, who are they going to point to? Trying to figure out, hey, who are you really trying to defend, who you are, and
really it's the closest one to you. And when it gets to that, I'm telling him, hey, let's take the closest one to you. And you kind of look at it from a personnel standpoint. How often does that guy come in the box? If you've been covering the whole game and you walk down there, if I'm playing the guessing game, I'm not going to block you.
Yeah, and see, I guess I'll give it. I know it could change by game to game, but what I like what Zim would do is we're trying to figure out if you guys pointed to somebody what it meant, and essentially they were saying, hey, if he pointed you ain't going. You dropping, the other guy's going, because they're saying issue. No, but then we knew that you guys would also be faking, hey, it's the second point. It ain't the first point. And all these kind of things. That now you guys are trying to play games.
I'm a dummy signal guy now, 100%. Hey, me, you to him, me, you to him. We really going that way.
Right, yeah. So I love that part of the game where it's chess matches and you're watching film, you're trying to figure out, like, hey.
Man, I appreciate
he's identifying the mic, but that's the wrong one.
Do some of this stuff, man. I really appreciate y'all for kind of letting me do this deal, man. I always love to do it. And I'll just get a chance to talk ball, man. Y'all, you ever need me, hit me up with any of that stuff, man.
Well, we thank you very much for your time and shooting your knowledge to us. It means a lot to us. It means a lot to our fans, and just for you to be able to come and do this. This will be a major hit. It'll be going on for a while because people want to learn how to play football, or how do we actually look at it, because all of us are great fans and we're all great coaches when we're sitting at home and watching it on TV, but it sure is a lot better when you actually have an idea of maybe what it should be, and we can be knowledgeable. That's what we try to strive to do here on Teague's Take. So thank you. Everybody's going to be watching you, man. Now we got to follow you and see what kind of rushing you're doing, and see when you can get to that nuck if you bucks set we're going to be looking for. We're going to be try to make sure we grab and see. Okay, how many times did he run that? And
Yeah, maybe we need to see if we can get that license for the channel. So next time he's back on, we can play the song.
look, we can get it.
No
That's
doubt.
right. Yeah, we'll see how much it costs. Maybe we can get that for, and that can always be when he get ready to play his theme music. That's what it is, baby. He gonna come on, take doing his thing. But best of luck to you.
And I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Congrats to you guys, man, on the new spot, man. I'm all for it. I've actually where exactly is it? You gotta school me up on
Yeah,
that part.
well, we are in Plano, Texas, which is suburbs of
Okay.
Dallas. So
Okay.
we aren't too far away from you, but I promise you, once I have someone of our caliber that can come play for you, I'll be calling for you. I
Oh
know
yeah.
one
Yeah,
that your
come
your
check me
ranges
out.
or your areas, but once we get there and we know what we have, we just don't try to call our friends just because we call when we got somebody that is worthy of
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I make
of the
sure I come by
opportunity.
and check you guys out, man. My brother just moved to Grand Prairie. Is that?
Grand Prairie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep,
Okay. Yeah, he
yep.
just moved to Grand Prairie, so I'll be spending some time out there, man, and get a chance to come by check you guys out, man.
And there's a lot of schools over that way that you're gonna want to look at too if you're going out to Grand Prairie. All
Yeah,
them Grand Prairie schools, they got some dudes out there, man.
that and
Man,
Sax is
Texas is
down
ridiculous.
there, and
It's my actual area is we actually got to split up. I've actually got Houston. I've got the Houston area. And our DB coaches got Dallas. But I was like, hey, son, I'll just go check my brother out sometime. But man, Texas is insane recruiting, guys. It's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah. Well, tell your boy to come by, and somebody just asked this, and I could say that he maybe this will be the last part before you go because yeah, are you still attending these coaching clinics? So why don't you tell us your story about maybe what you were talking about the transfer portal, and because I heard there was some voting going on out there.
Yeah. So I actually just got back from the coaches clinic last night. We had a big AFCA. We had it in Charlotte, which was really good. But so what they're trying to do is they're trying to change the window to really. They want to do one window now. So it used to be kind of changing to where guys could go in and maybe I think twice or three times a year you could go in the portal, or if your coach was fired. They're trying to change the new rule which is actually going to be ridiculous to make that one window in January
10
to be
days.
the only transfer portal window. So now you are physically asking, and what it was going to slow down is it'll stop guys from taking these unlimited 27 visits to these schools to where they want to go, which if I was a student athlete, I'm going to every single one. I may know where I'm going, but I'm taking the flight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where us coaches get beat over the head nowadays with the portal. But that one window is now going to be it's going to be like crunch time. It's going to actually create way more stress than the other windows because in a 10-day span, you got to evaluate thousands of kids, get them on campus, and make a decision.
But what about the timing? Because they're talking about is it in when would the window be?
January 2nd through January 12th.
Isn't that still too close to? So someone some
How do
are you
you
gonna
do
have
that if
some?
you're in the playoffs?
Are you gonna have some lawsuit for the
So
players to
that's the
say?
thing. You got the playoffs, and then you have
Because I mean, even you
not even
guys, your national championship game is in the
the second
middle of that window.
Yep, right. We're in the middle. We're not even that. Then you talk about school starting. School starts in the middle of that window. So that means you would have that kid possibly come on a visit, and he would, if he does
He ain't
want
been
to
to
come in,
class yet.
he's going to have to stay on campus. He ain't going to go back home. He's not going to get a chance to go and figure it out. He's going to be like, oh, hey, I'm coming here. Okay, good. Classes start on Tuesday. Like, what? It's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. But they're just trying to make it. What's starting to happen is they're trying in their minds, I think, and even as coaches, everybody's trying to suggest the NCAA. The NCAA and the coaches are getting together and they're kind of hearing each other out, and they're both trying to please each other. But what's happening is the conversations are pleasing each other, and we're coming up with wilder situations. So it's like we're getting together, creating more fire that necessarily it's not too good because the unlimited transfer portal rule is insane.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the actual compromise here should be maybe I can get behind like, okay, you got the one window, but maybe probably needs to be longer than 10 days. And
No doubt.
it probably needs to be after the last team plays their game.
After the last team plays, which is 100% going to affect. See, are they going to affect the bowl? Like everyone, those bowl games. I mean, that's
Well, yeah, because basically it's like the Rose Bowl ends and the transfer portal opens, and you got the 10 days, and you still, and at that point, if the 12 team playoff, speaking of FBS, is still going, there's still 4 more games left.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I actually want to answer this question that's in here: how Alcorn is, how we are actually affected by the transfer portal. So this is what's really happened is, and I'm using myself per se as a position coach. I've had 2 really good offensive linemen that didn't have FBS offers, but had FCS offers, and has, for whatever it's worth, come under my system, my wing, been developed, and they're really good. They're now at big time Power 5 schools. So what's starting to happen for Alcorn and most FCSs is we are the JUCO.
You're the feeder program.
No doubt. So what's happening is, the same way, and that's what's happening to the D2s and the NAIs. So if they're taking our kids, we're looking to say, hey, we want I'm telling my GA, I need you to go pull up every offensive lineman that's a D2 all conference player who didn't get an opportunity to play D1. As soon as a Division I coach, and I call him, he's like, oh, well, I get to play D1? I'm coming, coach. He just forgot that he was loyal to the D2 program. So that's what's happening is it's a pull system. It's a pull system, but FCS is being more affected because they're taking all the dudes. D2, you may take 1 or 2 dudes who, just kind of play. But most FCS teams, like you look at the North Dakota teams, like those guys got FBS takes like 8 of those guys every year. And you're gonna have a new team every year. Every single year you're gonna have a new team. It's not gonna be a develop like you may develop in that season, but it's not gonna be a true developing system.
Y'all need to put it. Y'all need to be getting some money for this kind of stuff. It's almost like kickback. Like, hey man, if you gonna come get them, all right, pay what you gonna pay, but there's a little royalty fee here too. That if he turns out to be such and such, you're gonna have to give me about $100,000.
But it takes away from it takes away from the life. These guys, most guys go to college and they meet some of their best friends, the best men of their wedding. Guys just be around forever. These guys are like high and by. Like, yeah, I played with them, but I don't really remember them. Like they don't want these guys have a new roommate every semester of college.
Yeah.
Has there been any kind of talks of like the FCS schools kind of partnering with the FBS school in the area, where the FBS school is like, hey, instead of gray shirting these dudes, what if we just like send them to you and you get to rent them for 2 years, and then when they're good enough, they'll come to us and we'll keep recruiting for you if you keep sending them up.
They would never do it because of the JUCO system. It would physically shut down the JUCO system. The JUCO system wouldn't exist at all, physically at all, because they don't even take the SAT no more. So guys that go JUCO, like, really don't. It's not. At one point you went to JUCO, kind of like, I didn't make it.
Qualify.
Now they're full qualifiers. And in the state of Mississippi, with the JUCO being so good in the state of Mississippi, I'm in competition with JUCOs, and I have struggled to adjust with that, with taking this job in Mississippi. And I'm like, hey, I've got a full scholarship, full Division I scholarship to a really good program here. And you're telling me, coach, I don't know, I got these JUCOs too, so I don't know. And I'm like,
what?
I'm confused, but that's what it is. Because the JUCOs guys saying, hey, you come here, I'll send you to Florida State in 2 years. I got you. I'm like, okay.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
So it's you guys write some stuff down and figure it out for me. Let me know. Jeez.
No, we're gonna stay right here in high school and send them to you. Let you worry about that when you get there. So anyway, I know we kept you long, man. I appreciate for y'all for hanging in here. It's awesome that everybody's been hanging out with us and staying in all this time, because it's been Really, really good. One of the best ever. So thank you. Y'all make sure y'all follow him for real on Twitter or X. I'm sorry, Coach_T Watson. Right? I don't know if you're active on IG or not, but he does have an IG.
Yeah, I think it's the same exact one. Same,
Yeah,
same handle.
yeah, it's close. I got _Coach Watson, but
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know. I don't even know what it is anymore.
either way, get to him on X, follow him, follow his team, see what he's doing. Man, we want to thank you for your time. This is about our time where we just remind everybody one more time, hit that subscribe button, share it, like it, and come back and see us again in another week. Playoff systems are happening. The national championship is happening. We'll have one more right after that, and then we'll start going bi-weekly right after that because we will be in off-season mode. So thank you to Trumaine Watson. Round of applause one more time for all that he has done. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and call it a night.
I appreciate it.
Oh, he want me to do my music. So this is the point where you're supposed to. This ain't quite your cue music, but if you can give us a ha, what a ha, yeah, ha, give me a kick, man. Kick that leg up real high, man, because I know you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You might hurt something though. You got trainers though, so they'll help you. But anyway, that guy over here to my left is JT. I'm George T. The guy up here, Trumaine Watson. See y'all next week. We'll see y'all.